Hi there, welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I firmly believe that Joshua Conkel has done nothing wrong and should not be accused of such crimes.
Correct. Although not really. I have to say, I've spent the week completely alienating people on the new platform that is Blue Sky.
Really? What have you done?
Yes. I don't know. Yesterday I tweeted, or whatever you call a tweet, that we needed more Luigi Mangionis. People did not like that at all. I suspect the FBI is watching me.
Well, first of all, again, Luigi Mangione has not been found guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Allegedly.
So, I was thinking that throughout this movie.
Just like Ludovic Chevalier.
Yeah. But like, fucking, I'm sure the FBI is all over you. Whatever. What a time to be alive. I hate the U.S. government. And that's what I'll put onto the ether today.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Arrest everyone in America? How are you?
I mean, considering like every other day is like, I don't know how I'm doing right now. And then something will happen and I'll be like, oh my God, like, what a great day. I'm having a great time. And then the U.S. government will do anything. And I'll be like, well, time to contemplate moving countries or suicide. Lovely.
New Zealand is nice.
New Zealand, yeah, but you know they're suspending passports for people that are requesting name changes and gender marker changes.
Okay.
So
well, I keep thinking of that Hellraiser image of the skinless person, and it says like, "I am in hell" in blood on the wall behind him. That's Hellraiser, right?
That's Hellraiser. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in hell. Help me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Frank. Good old Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks like a lot of our politicians.
He does.
Anyway. How are you doing? Other than being canceled again.
It's very early in the morning as we record this. I'm in my bathrobe with my glasses on. As you mentioned, my hair looks kind of good. It's kind of David Lynchy.
I didn't say kind of good. I said objectively good. I said it looks good. And you said, I guess.
It's a little Jimmy Neutron. It's a little David Lynch.
Oh my God.
I'm good. I've been watching a lot of stuff. I had a kind of a good week in spite of the government. I did a lot of government. I did a lot of gardening.
You've been governing so well.
I did a lot of woodworking. I did a lot of baking. I watched some really good movies. I was at the Egyptian Theater not once, not twice, but thrice this week.
Oh my God. I saw you there at least once, and I saw you post from there a second time, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the thrice, Josh.
Yeah, so you and I went to a screening of Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar that had the director and some of the cast and the production designer, which was like fabulous to see that movie on a big screen with an audience full of people who loved it. My stomach hurt from laughing because that movie's funny when you watch it at home, but watching it with a big audience full of people who are in the cult with you, it just was a transcendent experience.
It was the most emotional I've ever seen that movie too, because it came out in 2021, very, very early. It didn't have a theatrical release, and it just kind of like, if you saw it, cool, and you liked it, cool. Other than that, it kind of disappeared really fast. So like,
yeah,
giving a proper theatrical screening to this movie and with so many members of the actual production there was really, really, really moving. And despite laughing at, Darnie Bunkle and such things, I found myself getting a little misty-eyed near the end, and that honestly incredible.
Do you know what I noticed for the first time that made me laugh is when they walk into the shitty motel, there's a painting in the background that shows a shark eating a person with blood everywhere. It's like, that's so funny.
I didn't notice that until the screening either. And then, of course, afterwards, then they had the production designer up there. They were like, he just brought that. Which, like, incredible.
Brilliant. I would love to have that painting in my house.
Oh my God, I know.
The other favorite reveal from this screening from the director is that the villainess's name, who you never hear in the movie, on the page is what was it? It was Sharon Gordon Fisherman. That's so funny.
And apparently it was then changed on set to be Dr. Laney, and it's still like
Yeah.
it's still
Pretty
never
funny.
given, and which is funny. But Sharon Gordon Fisherman is just incredible. I love
So
Kristen
funny.
Wiig and Eddie Mamolo. Like
Those
it's
two.
it
Mwah.
always like was insane to me that after the success of Bridesmaids, like Paul Feig would go off and make more movies, and then would
Yeah.
be marketed as like from the people that brought you Bridesmaids, and I'm like, he directed Bridesmaids, but like y'all haven't
Yeah.
gotten the actual writers of Bridesmaids to do anything since then. And then this came and just disappeared, and I was
Right.
like, this is for my money. Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar is the like note for note funniest movie since Walk
Bridesmaids.
Hard. The Dewey Cox
I think
story.
Bridesmaids. Yeah.
I like Bridesmaids okay, but Barb and Star
I
is like
love it.
top tier. This is like my exact kind of humor, and I took my girlfriend Ivory to go to the screening with you as well. She'd never seen it. She'd only like heard
Mhm.
me occasionally talk about it, so she didn't know what to expect, even a little bit. And I very much like, very kind of nonsense comedy. Like 30 Rock is
Yeah.
like maybe my favorite show ever.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
also love like Top Secret and Airplane and like the Sucker Brothers movies and stuff like that. And like Marx Brothers stuff. And I feel like that's in kind of a very similar vein. And I know
Mhm.
like Ivory doesn't dig that stuff as much as I do. And I was like,
Mhm.
as the like Lionsgate titles came up, I was like, oh, there's a possibility she might not like this. Like
Yeah.
as soon as we go from like young boy singing Bee Gees on a bicycle to
That kid is
like a
so
super
cute.
villain layer, like I don't know how much she's gonna want to hang with like a fucking Darny Bunkle gag or fucking Trish.
Yeah.
And she fucking loved it. She was
Of
losing her mind.
course.
Like,
It's the ideal setting to see that movie for the first time. You know what I mean?
oh my god, I know. Well, she
It would,
immediately after the screening was like, I want to watch that again at home because I couldn't hear half the dialogue
yeah.
over
I
people
mean,
laughing.
it would be hard to be a hater in that setting, honestly.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went back last night and saw Mulholland Drive, which I had not seen since it was in theaters the first time. I saw it in the movie theater when it came out,
Really?
and never again since then. And it was so different watching it after living in Los Angeles all these years.
I mean, maybe from like an objective like sight and sound level, Lynch's best film. It's holy fucking shit. It's incredible.
It's endlessly fascinating. Like, I'm going to be
Mhm.
thinking about it for years to come, I'm sure. I don't understand it at all. But I do in a way that, and people say this all the time. It's like not a brilliant insight from me, but like it feels like the way that dreams make sense, dream logic, right? Like I feel like I understand it, but not in a way that I could describe to you.
Yeah. I think I watched it like 3 or 4 times, and it literally was when I like first moved to LA and I like got my first apartment and wasn't just sleeping on the floor of a fucking hostel. Um and my roommate and I were like, let's christen the apartment by watching some LA movies for like the first week. And
Hmm.
one of the ones was Mulholland Drive. And it was like the third or fourth time I'd seen it, and I never gotten it at that
Hmm.
point, but I liked it. And all of a sudden it just like fully clicked into place for me as to like what it meant and what was going on, and like everything pre and post Silencio kind of like fit together like a glove at last for me. And I was like, and so like it just ever since that moment, it's just become one of my favorite films of all time. I always loved it, and now it's like a different stratosphere for me. I love it so fucking
Yeah.
much.
It also has like one scene where, so I have this obscure crush from my childhood in the 80s with this actor named Scott Coffey, who it turns out is Naomi Watts's best friend in real life.
Oh, that's cute.
But he was in Ferris Bueller in like a non-speaking role. He's in this terrible Justine Bateman movie called Satisfaction. He's one of the kangaroos in Tank
Is that the
Girl.
Justine
But
Bateman like rock and roll movie?
yeah,
Yeah.
terrible movie.
Yeah.
Terrible movie that I watched a lot because Scott Coffey is in it. He was in the Amazing Tales movie in the 80s, but he was like a teenage actor in the 80s with like red hair. And it turns out he is gay. We actually did DM a little bit on Twitter years ago, but it was like, oh my God, there's Scott Coffey. And I realized like, where else can I talk about Scott Coffey other than Bloodhaus? And I also rewatched the Gus Van Sant movie To Die For, which I hadn't seen in many years, which is
my God,
brilliant
I love
camp.
so much.
The moment at the funeral when she puts a tape player on the coffin and starts playing all by myself. Like, it's maybe the best Nicole Kidman performance.
I think so. It's definitely the best Joaquin Phoenix performance.
For sure. And I love Ileana Douglas. Anytime she turns up, I'm like, God, why isn't she in everything ever?
It's incredible. I love the like pseudo documentary framing device and aesthetic of the movie. It also has an extremely exciting director cameo at the very, very, very end of the movie.
Who's in there?
David Cronenberg.
Oh, right. Yeah.
In the most like vicious, like subtle suburban role he could possibly be playing, that has like so much implication for the entirety of the movie, and it has one of the best end credit sequences of all time. Speaking
It's
of
so
Ileana
good.
Douglas, it's so good. And there's a little Texas switch in there, which is like really appreciative and like cute, but like, my God, I fucking love that movie so much. It just makes me giddy. That's the movie that I like won Ivory back over with Gus Van Sant on, because she hated Last Days, the like Kurt Cobain-esque movie, and like, I get it. That and Jerry and stuff like that are they don't work for me. And I was like, no, but it's like Nicole Kidman and all, and like she fucking loved To Die For, and then that, you know, opened the floodgates for me to be able to show her like My Aunt Private Idaho and stuff like that. But
yeah,
oh my God,
it's, you know what would be such a good double feature is To Die For and May December.
Yeah,
like ripped from the tabloids kind of camp, but also earnestly good.
But there's also there is a little bit of a like problematic age gap going on at the core of To Die For with her relationship with the high school students.
Oh, true. I didn't even think of that when I thought of that double feature. But yes.
That would be a killer double feature. A Todd Haynes, Gus Van Sant double feature? Sign me up.
Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, what about you? Have you been watching anything cool this week?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, Barb and Star was my big, like, theater outing. I really want to go see a bunch of movies that are in theaters right now, but I'm gonna have to do that on Monday because my week got so busy. But I did find time this week to finally like pluck a movie off of my like watch list shelf. I have a little shelf on my coffee table that of like DVDs and Blu-rays that I've like own, but I have not watched yet, and I've been like, okay, I just need to watch this soon. It's like I've owned it for too long now. We need to fucking get around to it. And we finally had some time and pulled one, and we watched the Japanese new wave movie Black Tight Killers from 1966. And I could not possibly pronounce the director's name. I'm so sorry. I just don't want to butcher it, so I'm just not going to. But you can look up the title Black Tight Killers and you'll definitely find it. But the director was the protege of Seijun Suzuki, who directed like Branded to Kill and Tokyo Drifter, and some of my favorite Japanese movies ever, on top of then also going on to be the supervising director of the Lupin anime. But Black Tight Killers is one of the most gonzo and thrilling, like, you know, post James Bond, quote unquote, like crime spy movies. It's in such a gorgeous artificial technicolor. Every time someone gets in a car in that movie, it's like very obviously like, okay, rear projection, we're like twisting the steering wheel and just sitting in a car. But the rear projection is just like, it'll be like of Japan and Tokyo behind them as they're driving, but it'll just be like a big blue overlay over that, just like it's entirely blue because it's nighttime, and then they'll go into a tunnel and it'll just go entirely orange. It's oh my god, it's one of the most vibrantly colored and styled movies. It's about a like war photographer who comes back to Tokyo, goes on a date, and his date is kidnapped mid-date. And so he's trying to get her back from some weird syndicate of men that is then separately attacked by a group of young women all wearing black tights and throwing like hairpins that have razor blades in them and stuff like that. And so like they're the titular characters and the most interesting characters in this movie because every time they show up, there's more of them. And every time he meets any other woman in the movie, you're like, is she one of them? No, she couldn't possibly be one of them. And then, yeah, obviously she's one of them. But the central figure is this like war photographer who's like just trying to get his girlfriend back.
Right.
But like it literally, this movie is an assault of color. Every single shot is like somehow bringing like yellow and blue and green and pink and just saturating the frame, literally to the point that near the end of the movie, there's a point where a character is kind of kidnapped by an evil gang and tied up with chains in a garage and tortured by having car paint sprayed on them.
Oh my god.
Like just
amazing.
sprayed all over them, and that's the torture, is that we're gonna like throw paint on you. Because they're like, as soon as it covers all of your body, your pores will close up and you'll suffocate to death. And so like it's
amazing.
It's so goddamn fun. It's so goddamn cool. I had such a good time with it. If you're looking just for like pretty action packed, because it's like proper like it's proper action mixed into like Japanese new wave aesthetics, in which like Brent to Kill and Tokyo Drifter don't give a shit about. That's always just like, okay, and then he shot him. Okay, whatever, move on to the next scene. But like the actual stunt work in this movie is really cool, and all the like quote unquote gadgets in it are insane. There's a like kind of Q character to the main character who's like an old ninja master who teaches like ninja techniques, and he's like, and every time he goes to see him, he's like, oh, this is an old ancient ninja weapon, you take it with you, and it's a bazooka, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Rad.
It's so goddamn fun. There's it's also very, very raunchy. Like there's, I don't know, one of the like ninja moves that one of the black tight killer women uses is literally something called the like octopus grip, which is literally holding a man captive with her vagina. It's incredible. I had a great time. It's really, really, really good. Really, really, really stylish. And you know, I love a Bond ripoff more than Bond movies.
Yeah.
And I love Bond movies. So like, I don't know. I thought it was incredible. I love Japanese new wave films. It's now a favorite. It's so goddamn good.
Speaking of stacks of Blu-rays, we should plug our upcoming commentaries. So
it
was just announced this week that the Arrow Blu-ray of Long Kiss Goodnight with our commentary is available for pre-order on their website and other websites, I'm sure. You can also get our commentary on Dress to Kill, the Arrow release, which I think is UK only.
That one's UK only, but it's a 4K Blu-ray, which is region free, so you can still import it.
Great. Yeah, so get it. Dress to Kill, Arrow Video.
Dress to Kill and Long Kiss Goodnight. We're so grateful and honored to be able to, you know, be on those commentaries. I don't know what academic good we do, but it's a fun track. I promise.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to the folks at Arrow and Neil and Alexandra for making those happen, because holy shit.
Very proud.
And, you know, while you're there, you can also pick up Cruising and Terminal Man, which have art by me.
Yes, and the Arrow version of Cruising is the superior one. Like,
Significantly.
Phil Nobile from Fangoria was posting about this. The previous Blu-ray, I guess, of Cruising had some supervision
by Friedkin.
color redone by Friedkin, which is really bad. And
he also re-edited the opening too.
Yeah, and so the new Arrow release restores it to the theatrical version, which many people, myself included, feel is better.
And on top of that, the box it's packaged in is leather textured.
Ooh.
It's very exciting and very fun. And it's got my art as a poster and like as the Blu-ray cover and stuff like that. It's very, very, very exciting. Thank you so much, Error Video. This is a We Love You, Error Video episode.
I feel like every episode is. Error Video and Vinegar Syndrome. Those are our people.
I guess I should also plug that the copy of Black Tie Killers I watched was from Radiance Films, who we also love. So like,
yeah,
all around.
Let's shout them all out.
What are you doing if you're not purchasing things? This is America. Go buy objects. Speaking of someone who doesn't buy objects and lives in a sparse house of nothingness, let's talk about the movie of this week.
This is a movie from 2023 that I had seen and really enjoyed, so I decided to bring it to the podcast. It's Drusilla's first time seeing this movie. This is written and directed by Pascal Plante. It is Les Chambres Rouges, or in English, Red Rooms.
Que seront dévoilées les troublantes vidéos saisies par le FBI. Les preuves clés qui ont mené à l'arrestation de Ludovic Chevalier. Ce qu'on va tenter d'établir ici, c'est que Ludovic Chevalier est l'auteur de ces meurtres, qu'il a filmé pour un auditoire privé, prêt à payer pour voir ça en direct, dans ce qu'on appelle des Red Rooms.
So this came out in 2023. The Canadian premiere was at Fantasia Film Festival, although it had premiered technically at Karlovy Vary International Film Festival. I'm not sure if that's the right way to say that, but we know it as a Fantasia Fest movie because we live in North America. I was watching this again and I thought, like, this is a movie that I could see Drusilla going either way on. So what did you think of it?
I genuinely, truly knew nothing about this movie going in. The first time I heard about it was that I think I saw some of the posters dropping. I think Midnight Marauder did a poster for it. And then I remember the director went to Posteritati in New York and they kind of had like a premiere for it there, or sort of. I think they had like a New York premiere and they had like a party at Posteritati beforehand with a lot of the cast and crew. And I was like, I don't know what this is. Okay, some French movie, some French-Canadian movie about some lady who wears headphones. I don't know. And so when I think you mentioned it on the podcast a little while ago as having, you know, a true crime connection, and I was like, oh, interesting. All right, my interest is piqued enough to go into this blind. And watching it last night, I was very quickly taken in. It like the opening sequence of just like
the defense and
just immediately when she just wakes up in the street of downtown Quebec and like deeply like blue saturated with red type over it. I was like, ooh, this feels very 90s thriller in a way.
Very
that,
David
like,
Fincher.
That was like talking to me. And then as soon as we got into that courtroom and we got those incredible like choreographed one takes through the courtroom, kind of like laying out the case, I was like, I was really fucking locked in.
Sequence, yeah,
locked the fuck in.
Very well crafted movie, I thought, and such a fresh take on this genre. I mean, this is really like kind of a serial killer, you know, Silence of the Lambs kind of movie, although it's done through a courtroom drama, which is super interesting and something that I hadn't really seen before, I guess. Except, I mean, the only thing I could think of is something like Helter Skelter, which is actually a courtroom drama. Ultimately.
Oh, I never saw it.
It's fun. It's a fun movie. I mean, fun quote in quotes. So yeah, I just felt like I hadn't really seen anything like this before. It felt very fresh to me. I think the writing is very good. The acting is very good. There's a couple of like questions I have about it, but I thought it was something really fresh and new, and I really liked this movie a lot.
It reminded me a little bit of there's a French movie from I think around the same time as this, maybe the year before, maybe the same year, called Saint Omer, which is about a woman who I think is visiting France at the time,
Uh-huh.
and like attends the trial of a woman who murdered her child,
Mm-hmm.
and like starts like to continually go back because she starts like relating to the defendant
Yeah.
in a really interesting way. um and this is a much and that's a very like more like humanist portrait of like how hard it is to like a fucked up humanist portrait of like how hard it is to be a mother and like what the worst possible crime could be and things like that. Um, this was a lot darker and a lot more fucked up than killing your own child somehow. Um, and the thing that really, I mean, the concept of exploring, um, you know, dark web serial killer stuff is like nothing new. I'm sure Criminal Minds and stuff like that has been tackling this fodder for over a decade, but
Right.
presenting it with like grounded sincerity as this is the world more or less, and with a really slick filmmaking style,
Mm-hmm.
really like effortlessly slick, very very well made, that you feel the filmmaker is fully in control of what's happening,
Yeah.
that you like, but you don't know what's next. And so like, okay, courtroom, we know there's a killer on trial. We know that heinous acts have been committed, and we know that there's still a few mysteries at play. The real mystery of the movie is the central character.
Yeah. I
And
mean, the
that's the thing that
movie.
makes it work.
Yeah, totally. The movie it's one of those movies that is quiet. It kind of keeps you at an emotional distance. And part of that is the central character Kellyanne, who kind of feels like a sociopath. She's very
Yeah.
beautiful. She's a model. She makes most of her money though through online poker. She's a hacker. She lives in an expensive luxury apartment with nothing in it.
Yeah.
She does very little talking. She doesn't let people in. She's very guarded. And she goes every day to this trial. She's obsessed with this trial of a
To the
man
point that
named.
she sleeps in the alley the night
She
before so that she
sleeps in
can
the
get in
alley.
there first thing.
Yeah, so she's going to the trial of this man, Ludovic Chevalier, who is accused of selling snuff videos through red rooms. Now, I didn't know the concept of a red room before this movie, but basically, it is on the dark web. There are these auctions for these snuff films, and in this case, there are three of them. There are three victims, all of whom are teenage girls. And I think it's a really strong choice that the movie doesn't ever show us the snuff films. It just, you hear snippets of them a little bit and we see reactions of them. Someone in the courtroom faints. I think that's a really strong choice. The
Mm-hmm.
movie therefore sympathizes with the girls and their families in a way that feels interesting and cool. Um, yeah, I guess I'm kind of getting into synopsis territory, but Kellyanne meets another kind of groupie named Clementine who is fully insane and is in love with Ludovic and believes that he's innocent until the reveal that Kellyanne has two of the snuff films. The third has not been released yet by the murderer for sale. And she shows them to Clementine and she realizes that probably it was Ludovic and she
Yeah.
leaves. It's an interesting run up, that story, because I don't know, you could make the case that it doesn't go anywhere, but that's not actually true because
I don't think that's true at all.
it reveals that she has seen the snuff films, Kellyanne, that it's the first hint that maybe she's not a groupie of this trial because she loves Ludovic like Clementine does.
Mm-hmm.
Because before then you're like, who, this is loathsome that she's like obsessed with this killer. You
The
know what I
only
mean?
thing
Like,
that she says up until that point is when she first walks out of the courtroom on the very first day, the press swarm her and ask her why she's there, and her response is just, "I wanted to see him in prison." So at
Mm.
first you're like, oh, okay, maybe she's following this case out of some emotional connection to it, and then just wanted to like see the killer up front and see him behind plexiglass bars.
Yeah.
And then you immediately meet Clementine like the next minute later, and she's like fully insane and like babbling about how he's innocent and all these things. And then you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
gross, bad choice. And then when she starts hanging around Kellyanne, you're like, girl, don't give this girl the time of day. But she very quickly has sympathy for her and then kind of like develops a friendship with her, which you are very quickly can tell is her only friendship.
Yeah. Besides the AI that she has in her house,
But
that
she
programmed
only
herself.
yeah,
Yeah.
but she only uses as a functional tool to like
Yeah.
write emails and stuff. And then later in the film, after Clementine has left, is trying to use the pseudo Alexa to fill in Clementine's gap. So like it seems like she was just fine living on her own as this weird like potentially sociopathic, like
Yeah.
insulated model existence. And it wasn't until meeting Clementine that she was like, oh, I think I like having a friend.
Yeah. I mean, for me, both girls were disgusting and insane for most of
Yeah.
the movie. I was like, these
Yeah.
two belong together, and I think the movie calls into question the idea of trial groupies, which is something that a lot of us, I think, take for granted, right? Like when those girls were showing up to the Manson trials in the 60s,
Yeah.
70s, people were really shocked by that. But it's become kind of normal, women falling in love with serial killers and writing them letters in prison. Even John Waters talks about being a trial groupie, and we all think that's funny and cute. But maybe it's not. That's the question of this movie.
Well, I was listening
like,
to his audiobook of Role Models this week too,
yeah,
and he specifically has a long chapter about how like the first
Leslie Van
trial he
Houten.
ever attended was as a trial groupie to the Manson murders, not because he was like really into any of the members, but because he was fascinated by the crime, because to him this was like stuff that they were, the concept of what they did was things that he was making fun of in Baltimore, being
Mhm.
like, ha ha ha, that could never happen. And then it did. And
Right.
so he wanted to see firsthand. And he has since befriended some former members of the Manson family that are still in prison to
Mhm.
this day, that have, you know, that did actually murder people, but
Yep.
have like, gone through the deprogramming, and are like horrified by their actions and deeply ashamed and deeply apologetic, but are like kind of resigned to knowing that they will live in prison for the rest of their lives. And he's
Yeah.
like, these women have like grown and moved so much, like I it's the least I can do to offer them some kind of like friendship and kindness.
Mhm. Yeah, I know he advocates for the release of Leslie Van Houten because he says that she's now an elderly woman who
Yeah.
did something when she was a teenager under the influence of an evil man. And I don't know, that's a whole debate that I feel is like sort of above my pay grade, except to say that, this movie is kind of tapping into a debate we've been having for a few years about the popularity of true crime. And
Mhm.
a lot of people do a lot of hand wringing over the popularity of true crime. And I'm somewhat sympathetic to that, although I have to say I like true crime. I'm interested in it too. And so part of me wonders if it's just natural to be interested in these heinous crimes because they're interesting. I don't know. They just are. You know what I mean? There's
Mhm.
something about reading about or consuming podcasts about or watching movies about these horrible crimes. I think on some level it must be natural, otherwise they wouldn't be popular.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's twofold. It's, well, maybe even three. I think there's a deep-seated human interest in like the limits of humanity and
Hmm.
like the worst things that we can do to each other. I think there's like I think objectively stating out loud that you like that is weird, but I do think that inside all of us, there's a degree of like curiosity,
We're all
and
gawkers.
yeah, we're all gawkers, and also to a degree, everyone has like, since like being a child and being scolded for like taking a cookie, like we all have a fascination with like what would happen if I'm caught, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have like weird internal monologues, like where like our emotions can let loose about disliking someone and can fantasize about the worst possible things, and then in reality you're like, okay, nope, but whatever. But you also have that internalized like fear of persecution, so it can very rapidly turn into, what if I kill them, and then what if I get arrested, and what happens to me? So there's that,
Yeah.
but then there's also the need for justice and order. We as human beings like order, and so when heinous, awful crimes are committed, we very, 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 very much want to see justice done, to like restore status quo. But then I think the third thing is just like, I think people just genuinely like a mystery,
Yeah.
and people like a real life mystery. It makes it feel more real, and I think around there is when it gets into like kind of gross territory where you're treating real life people and events as if it's like Agatha Christie, because like these are human
Right.
lives.
Or like, there's a line, and the line is probably different for all people, but I
Mhm.
know some people who loved, like my friend really loves true crime, but he doesn't like the podcasts where it's women who are like, morning murder muffins, we've
Yeah,
got a
I
real
hate that stuff
gloopy
too.
one for
I
you.
also
You
hate
know what
that
I mean?
stuff.
Like,
I fucking hate that stuff.
that's different than like straightforward, earnest reporting on something criminal that happened. I think, we're social animals. We live in a society, and I think there's a part of all of this that's like, okay, what went wrong here, and could this
Mhm.
happen to me,
Yeah.
or could I be the person who committed this crime? Like, all, I think it brings to life these like sort of deep questions in all
And I
of us.
think one of the other ones that it brings up too is, okay, what's the likelihood of something like this happening to me? And if so, how could I change it?
Yeah.
What can I do to make sure this doesn't happen to me?
And just like
Um,
the big philosophical question is like, where does evil come from? It's central to a lot of art that goes back to the beginning of humanity. Like,
yeah.
is it nature or nurture? It's like those kind of bad seed questions.
God, with that scene.
It's so
One of
good.
the things that I find really, really compelling and fascinating about this movie is the level to which the line between killer and investigator, and this again, we've discussed this so many times in so many other movies. I mean, Cure, we talked about this. We talked about this in I Saw the Devil,
Hmm.
um, the Kim Ji Woon film. But I think this is a really, really fascinating one from a like more stripped back perspective of like, I think objectively Kellyanne is an expresses antisocial behavior, period. Whether or
Yes.
not she's sociopathic is yet to be seen, but I mean, I think the movie definitely kind of wants you to at least assume that she might be.
Yeah.
um and I think that's very intentionally painted in a way that you never know for a lot of the runtime whether or not maybe maybe this Ludovic guy isn't the killer. Maybe she's really the killer, or maybe Ludovic is the
Mm.
killer, but maybe she's an obsessive fan and she wants to learn from him, or she wants to impress him, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or is she a true crime like keyboard warrior investigator who's doing everything she can to crack the case on her own and
Yeah.
to get the evidence to confirm his guilt, and then get evidence in the hands of the people that can make a change. And in the end, I think Kellyanne has quote unquote good motives.
Hmm.
However, she goes about them and follows them in a way that beyond blurs the line and does things that don't assist in her quote unquote catching the killer, but are almost fetishistic moves for herself that are super fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, that's debatable too, right? There's a lot of conversation again about whether or not idiots with microphones like us should be solving crimes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Maybe we should leave that to the authorities, but your point is well taken. Yeah, I mean, that's part of what makes this movie so interesting is like, what are her motives? Like, what is her goal? You really don't know. And there's a couple of moments that really confuse it. So one is that it's Ludovic's birthday, and so she shows up into court in contact lenses and a wig and a schoolgirl outfit to look like one of the victims,
and then puts in like fake like retainer braces,
yes,
and like wait and like just to look as much like her as possible. So goddamn. Well, while that girl's parents are on the other side of the room.
Right. And then later she breaks into that parent's house and takes selfies of herself dressed as a little girl in the little girl's bedroom,
doing the pose. That's the most fucked up thing in the movie to me is
right. So then
selfie.
She does something altruistic at the end of the movie and helps solve this crime, but it's like, where is she emotionally and mentally on the scale of like, I don't know. It just is a very it muddies all of her choices and her not in a bad way either. I don't mean that as a criticism of the film, but it's just like, this bitch is crazy. That's my point.
Yeah.
Like, she's insane.
And the only time her emotional registry throughout the movie, it should also be noted that Juliette Garapi's performance is like wonderful. Incredible.
Yes. And same with the girl that plays Clementine is also extremely good.
Laurie Babin, yeah. Very, very, very good. And they make a like kind of cute little like friendship team.
All things
for a
considered,
while.
they do. Yeah.
But for the majority of Juliette's performance, she's very like stoic, no emotions. And then when she finally seems to let emotions come to the surface, it's like fear and frustration.
Yeah.
For quite a while of it, as her life begins to fall down from her getting notoriety around this case in a negative light, because
she's losing modeling contracts and then gets dropped from her reps
for showing up in court dressed as the victim,
as you
would.
I feel like my agents are on the verge of dropping me every day that I post Luigi Mangione memes. So
but the first time she shows any kind of like happiness or joy is when she wins the auction
for the third film,
for the third video. Yeah. And again, we never see any of the videos, but we do watch her face as she watches it, which is what most of the posters are. And the emotional journey her face goes through is obscured by the like effects that are laid over that sequence, but there's clearly something going on there. So it's the question of like, is she a like amateur detective who's trying to like put justice to this case and trying to like do the like Manhunter Hannibal Will Graham thing of like getting into the victim's thing by like dressing up as the girl and like inhabiting her room and trying to like connect with her, and then like doing everything she can to get the footage and leak it and confirm that the footage is will have the evidence to like put him away? Or is she entirely like neutral to it, other than being obsessed with it, or is she a sicko
who likes these movies?
Yeah, or is she a sicko, but then wants to like write off her, any like feelings of guilt by then passing it on, and putting the guy away? Or the other or is I guess spoiler alert at the end of the movie. Did her giving leaving the drive in the parents' home, was that an altruistic move or was it a torturous move?
True. Yeah, that did occur to me. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's an open question, right?
I think it's great. I love the way this character is painted, and I love the way the detachment this movie uses like extremely well for this kind of a story. A lot of films lately use that kind of detachment, and I don't think it works.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Drusilla might not like this because sometimes she doesn't like movies where the viewer is kept at like a cold distance.
It works exceptionally well for this. It just, I don't like it
Yeah.
when it's unnecessary, where it feels like they're doing it because other filmmakers do it or because it's in vogue and whatever, we could do this. I love Hitchcock, and Hitchcock is constantly a cold distance, like God's eye view.
Yeah. Sometimes I guess the thing could be like, you've made it impossible for me to care about this movie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the intention, I guess. But there's a difference between being interested in a story and caring about a story. And this movie strikes the right balance. Like, I'm very interested in this movie. And I would say I care, actually.
Well, which is the other thing that I think this movie does really well, is that there's also like the metatextual view of it, which you as an audience watching Kellyanne and following along begins to blur the line to like, how engaged are you in her story in the way that she's engaged in this story.
I'm also interested in learning about all of this stuff. Like, I didn't know anything about I learned about the dark web through this movie. I learned
You never heard of the dark web before?
I've heard of the dark
Okay.
web, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what Tor
Yeah.
was. I didn't know that, there were that they used crypto, and that's what crypto is for. Like, I didn't know the logistics and ins
I
of
will
that
say,
and outs of it.
there's an auction to the end of this movie, which is all in
Yeah.
cryptocurrency. And I don't know jack shit about cryptocurrency in terms of the practical like usage of it, other than like I know about
It's
like
for
the
crime.
environmental impacts and stuff like I know it's for crime, but I don't
Yeah.
for instance, I don't know the exchange rate of cryptocurrency to say US dollars. And so
Right.
there's an auction going on and they're like 10 and I'm like and like it comes to a close at like 20 or something like that. And I turned to Ivory and I was like, I don't know enough about cryptocurrency to know. Like, I know that was tense because of the way it was like cut and edited and stuff like that, but I don't.
But the numbers are so small that it seems funny.
The numbers mean nothing to me. And she was like, "That's an ungodly amount of money," and I was like, "Okay."
Yes, I think it changes, just like the stock market changes.
Yeah.
But I think at times one coin can be $250,000.
Jesus,
so it's
Christ.
like a lot of money potentially. But people have tried to explain crypto to me many times, and it's like water off a duck's back. Like, this is not for me to know. The one thing that I thought was funny about this movie is like the words that are randomly in English. So the movie's in French.
Yeah. The very, very first time they have in the courtroom.
Dark web, red room.
The first time that the prosecutor said dark web, Ivor and I both laughed very hard.
It was like this edgy, weird. It reminded me of the joke in Los Spookies where there's like the one American character, Mark Stevens, and so everything is in Spanish, and then they'll be like blah 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 blah, Mark Stevens, and they'll say it very clearly in this like really funny way. It reminded me of that.
And honestly, like, it's a little bit of levity that like the opening of this movie like definitely can use, and I don't think it's making fun of the movie to do that in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. I think it's cute. This movie was so good. The thing that I was thinking about through a lot of the like final third of this movie, especially in the central performance, was how much this main character was reminding me of Robert De Niro's character from Taxi Driver, Travis Bickle, who, we might know a little bit more about his motives, but also like antisocial, lives alone, seems to like only go out at night, lives in a very Spartan existence, and has motives. His motives are a little bit more clear in terms of like oh, he wants to be with Sybil Shepherd, a woman he saw one time. But with her, they're a lot more muddy than that, but kind of akin to Travis Bickle, kind of like the actions are so neutral and it's such like a blank slate to a degree that when either good or bad, that they can swing between either, and it seems to make no difference to their core character and belief. And again, similarly, it ends with like after the events of the movie, it ends with like a press reel of like, wow, oh my god, the day is saved because of inadvertently because of the actions of this character, leaving you to question whether how much the reporting on that is representative of the actual events. I don't know. It reminded me
representative of her intentions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because all of the wall at the end of Taxi Driver of like press clippings of like hero saves the day and all this stuff, and you're like, he was trying to assassinate that guy.
Yeah, the other movie this kind of reminded me of was, did you see that Netflix documentary Don't Fuck with Cats?
Yes, I did see that documentary.
I thought of that a lot.
I did think of that as well. I like that documentary. I thought it was good.
That documentary was really disturbing to me, but it was very good. And again, I learned a lot about like the dark web and these kinds of markets from that movie, a world that I know nothing about. Thank God. The less I know about this shit, the better, probably.
Yeah, fair.
I don't like this kind of stuff. I mean, I like this movie, but I don't like, like Faces of Death kind of stuff for me is like a big
same.
No.
Deeply hate it, deeply dislike it. And I mean, there's a little bit of Videodrome in that as well, without the sci-fi elements.
Yeah, it's true.
But I also like, God, I hate tech. I hate tech so fucking much. I was thinking about that through this whole movie when she's got her little fucking like AI assistant thing, and the girl's like, "Isn't that thing spying on you for the government all the time?" She's like, "Everyone else's is, but I trained mine like this, so it's on a closed loop. And on top of that, like every other AI is racist because it just trolls the internet. I had mine like tuned in so it doesn't tell me to kill myself." And I'm like, the amount of work you have to do, and also like who would want that to begin with? Horrifying, gross, get out of here. And then also she's like doing research into the mother of one of the victims, and she like is able to find her house like almost immediately, and then is able to find out that she has like a keypad door lock, and is able to then look up the keypad door lock, find this woman's like email address and passwords and log in, and just like find all of the elements to break into her house like within like 5 minutes of trolling the internet. And I'm like, I hate it.
Let me tell you about AI, because this is something I've done a lot of research on because it's currently destroying my industry and everything else. We've all seen AI visibly, noticeably destroy many platforms like Google and other ones. It doesn't work. It's snake oil.
Yeah.
These big tech companies are insisting upon it because for 20 plus years, they've grown at this exponential rate because of innovations, some real, some imagined, and those have naturally come to slow down, but they still have to prove to shareholders that they're growing at this exponential rate. So now they're in the position of having to fake it. So they are all pushing AI on everything because that's the only thing that they have on their sites. They're like, we have to make this happen. It's no different than that Elizabeth Holmes girl and her fucking Theranos blood scam. That's exactly what they're doing. We're like, we're going to insist upon this, and eventually we'll be able to make it work. But they're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
It's all snake oil. And everyone hates this shit. Like no one wants AI in Microsoft Word. No one wants AI Google results. This shit
No one wants AI in Dropbox. Yeah. Why is it there?
It doesn't work.
Also,
or in Adobe Creative Suite. Like those people especially don't want AI. People who work with the Adobe Creative Suite are
me,
like, get
literally me, get that the fuck out of there. I hate it so much. And on top of that, like, it's ruined search engines, period. I can't use Pinterest anymore. I used to use Pinterest all the fucking time to build like mood boards for like projects. Whenever I'm doing like any kind of design work, I would like always build a Pinterest mood board, and like, listen, I like have stuff already pinned and saved and stuff like that. But then I'm always like, oh, there's that one poster for that. Oh my God, Josh, I tried to find the poster for the Jonathan Demme movie, Something Wild. With Melanie Griffith and Jeff Daniels on Pinterest the other day for exactly this. It took me 15 minutes.
That's
to find the poster for Something Wild, because it was like Something Wild, and so it like And rather than being literal, it's a movie called if you type in something wild poster, it will just give you gobbledygook.
Like fucking live, laugh, love farmhouse style word
that says
art
wild.
Yeah.
Or like some animals, or like
Ugh.
or the movie Wild. Like,
so someone told me, and this is true, for Google now, if you put in your search and then put -AI, it gives you the old school Google results without AI. So a little trick from me to you.
Thank you for that. That's very, very, very useful. I'm also, I gotta say, I'm sick of its proliferation into storytelling as well. And obviously the obvious thing is like, yes, obviously AI should not be in the fucking screenwriting process or any part of the filmmaking process. Hard flat out. Generative AI especially, like there's things that have been around for like over a decade that are now being branded as AI, which is insufferable. Actual like tools in like the Adobe suite and in like film editing and stuff like that are now being branded as AI to like, you know,
make people
goose them up and be cool, like, ooh, look, we have AI things. But it's like, that's been there's like, you know, like a background remove tool that's been in Photoshop for like 10 years, but it's now being marketed as an AI tool. And it's like, it's not. It's a program.
In my world, it's like spelling and grammar corrections are now being marketed as AI. It's like, we've always had spell check. Spell
check's been there. It's a fucking algorithm. It's been there. It's like since the 80s. But like, I'm sick of it like being like creeping into stories and it being like, you know, oh, and this character has like an AI thing. Or like, I recently watched the FX miniseries A Murder at the End of the World, which, like, you know, was well made and well directed and the cast is very good. But so much of, I think it's also from like 2023, so it's around the same time as Red Rooms, which again was when like the conversation around AI was fresh and new and starting like that. And once again, there's like the rich oligarch kind of main character of the thing, or villain of the thing, has like an AI assistant that he's like pushing on everything and is like technically one of the main characters. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna take a stab and guess that like the AI is the killer. Yeah, it is. Got it. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Unless it's a very quick patented gross, it sucks, I hate it, it doesn't belong in your script. The movie Afraid with the AI slanted in the title. I don't care. Get it the fuck out of here. That's stupid. Yeah. M3 again? No, thank you. It's the reboot of Chucky of Child's Play, where Chucky is a like robot AI. Fuck off.
I hate the tech industry. I'm not against technology, but I'm against the tech industry because these fucking nerds, they have the gall to think they're smarter than everybody else. They've destroyed every industry that they've ever touched, from taxis to hotels, now to Hollywood, to publishing, you name it. Anything the tech industry has touched, they've destroyed.
Yeah. They're coming they're coming for photography and art photography and stock 100%. Photography as well. And on top of what they've done to the environment, like... Yeah. I hate it.
Disgusting.
I hate it. Well, the big awful thing about AI, but generative AI specifically, is the sheer amount of energy and water that it takes to run generative AI servers. Fuck off.
You're burning down a forest every time you want to make a picture of a 3-titted woman. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. I hate it.
It's especially following the fucking LA wildfires. If you especially if you live in fucking LA and you want to use as much water as it took to put out the wildfires to fucking type into chat GDP to like write a post for you or to like augment your shitty photography, fuck off.
Yeah. Anyway, let's play our favorite game, Have They Seen It? The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. I kind of subtweeted them in this conversation today. Do you think Karen and Georgia, hostesses of My Favorite Murder, have seen Red Rooms?
I listened to that podcast for years. I can't talk shit. I thought it was a fun podcast. I just got tired of it. That's all. I have no judgment. I shouldn't be so judgy of it because it's a real big podcast. I know a lot of people really like it. I enjoy true crime and I also enjoy podcasts. And so a few years ago, a friend of mine was like, you should listen to this. And I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. okay, yeah, sure, cool. And I couldn't get through a single episode. I was like, and them immediately starting the episode being like, we've had people write in recently saying that we got some facts wrong and this and that and the other. And like, listen, guys, we're comedians. This is a comedy show. So like, we're not going to have all the facts for you. And that's fine. And you can just deal with it. Anyway, here's how our family was murdered in a cabin. And I'm like, no, I'm out. Fuck that. I can't stand it. No. How, like, if you're going to talk about it, you need to be fucking serious or like, what's funny? What's funny? In terms of like true crime podcasts, I do enjoy Last Podcast on the Left, which gets humorous and like they do like, but like it's incredibly researched. They fucking read every possible book about these topics and watch every shitty documentary about them. They then criticize the reporting that it's like the tabloid reporting at the time, and then if they're making jokes and commenting on it, they're making fun of the killer. Like, I also haven't listened to that in a while because like taking that much in kind of like does something to me, and I don't like it. But like, anyway, those two ladies,
they live in LA. Karen, at least, is a screenwriter, or was professionally. She was a TV writer. I think she now makes so much money from the podcast that.
Yeah, I think once you make that much money from putting a logo on a mug, I don't think you need to be a screenwriter anymore.
She wrote for Baskets, an FX show that I really loved. Yeah, she was a writer on that.
That's deeply surprising. Yeah, I would say she hasn't personally. I don't see either of them taking a break from their empire and nightly wine intake to go to Shudder and put on a foreign language film.
Perhaps not. You might be right.
But I don't know. What do you think?
They do like horror movies. I will say they're both sober, so they're not wine girlies, although they seem like they might be. They're both goth, so they're not like basic girls. They do like horror movies, and they're so. But I'd still say no. It's a little too obscure, I'd say, probably.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned him, and we both just kind of discussed his like actual courtroom behavior and true crime obsession. Do you think John Waters has seen Red Rooms?
Yes, I think he sees like literally.
He does see everything. He really does see everything.
I think he would really like this too.
I think he would fucking love this movie.
Yeah,
he loves like a weird antisocial movie about women. So like, yeah.
He does. And despite being like a comedy writer and like kind of a Dadaist artist himself, his taste is very arty-farty and sophisticated.
Extremely.
And, like, the colder and artier, the better for him. It seems
he's a big Marguerite Duras fan, so this should be no surprise.
Yeah. Do you think that CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, has seen this movie?
No, I don't think, again... I don't think any like tech bro, especially that guy, watches something with subtitles other than maybe an anime.
While we're hating on tech people this episode, I wrote the Halloween show for one of the country's biggest, most important theaters last year, and I won't say which one, but it is surrounded by a lot of tech companies, so take a guess where it is. It's a regional theater. And I was talking to the artistic director, and he was saying that in the past few years they'd had a really hard time getting people to come to the theater, because he was like, honestly, between you and me, I don't think that people in the tech industry like art. I don't think they're interested in it at all. I don't think they're interested in movies, music, theater, paintings, none of it. They're just not interested for some reason. And I was like, that's really depressing.
Yeah. That's honestly the first thing that I thought when I saw the main character's apartment in this movie was like, oh,
she looks like a tech person. Yeah, that's like how tech people live.
Horrifying. I hate it.
Sam Altman's a no.
Yeah, well, because we mentioned it earlier, and because we both love it so very, very deeply, Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar is one of the best films of all time. Do you think that Kristen Wiig and Annie Mamolo have seen Red Rooms? Which I will now point out to the fact that Jamie Dornan is the third lead in that film, who came to popularity for playing a killer in The Fall.
The Fall, which he's great in. God, he's so good. He's a great actor and so funny in Barb and Star. I don't think so. They both seem too lighthearted to watch something like. I would be curious to know if either of them likes horror movies. My guess would be no, but maybe that's not true. All kinds of people like horror.
I could see Kristen Wiig. I could see Red Room as being more as like a thriller to most people. Which fair, fine, whatever. Thrillers are like my fucking like bag. But I could see Kristen Wiig being really into like thrillers, and I could see Kristen Wiig like getting on board for like, you know, Hitchcock and De Palma and stuff like that. So like,
yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, a lot of people who don't like horror do like thrillers, right? For some reason, it seems more acceptable. Like you might not like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, but you will like Silence of the Lambs or something.
Yeah, my mother, for instance, like doesn't really do horror movies unless like, you know, Young Frankenstein or something like that. We'll like occasionally watch Nightmare on Elm Street or on Halloween. Which to her is still the scariest movie ever made. But like,
okay,
we'll absolutely watch.
All right, Patty.
We'll absolutely watch true crime documentaries, and we'll absolutely watch like Zodiac and like you know, David Fincher films, and like, so like it's interesting. And like loves Hitchcock movies. So like I could see a world, and especially like with Kristen Wiig's new show, which is also set in Florida. Palm Royale, which is like also a thriller to a degree. I don't know how much of a release Red Room's got and how much discussion it got. It's a Utopia film, and Utopia is a great indie distributor, but I don't know how like proliferated this is. I don't know if Annie Mamolo would check out Red Rooms, but I feel like Kristen Wiig might really
she could.
Like it. I also feel like both the director and lead actress in this movie are about to blow up and migrate to Hollywood real fast.
They deserve to be huge.
Yeah.
Both are so good. Depending on how well this actress speaks English.
She speaks English in this.
Star. She does, but in limited amounts, you know.
Yeah.
So who knows if she could like lead a movie, if her English is good enough to lead an American movie.
Yeah.
Like Cotilliard.
I'm sure she'll play like a fifth string scientist in a Godzilla movie soon.
Yeah. Totally. My feeling of Montreal, where I have been, it's a beautiful city, of course. It feels like you're in Europe, is like I couldn't make heads or tails of when people would speak English or French, and I couldn't predict it. Like you would go to like a Tim Hortons or something, and it's 50-50 whether or not you're going to get English or French, 50-50 whether or not a sign will be in English or French. It just seemed completely scattershot and random to me, and a lot of people did not speak English and a lot of people did, and I could not make heads or tails of any of it. So anybody's guess.
There's a weirdly big conservative movement in that part of Canada about like only speak French, and like we're the like real French Canadians, and like
big secession movement too. And France is the same way. Any French speaking country that is white, frankly, are like, you must speak French here. In France, there's like literally laws about how much can be in other languages besides French. You know, like 40% of everything has to be in French or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's
they're very
xenophobic.
Yeah, but they also want to hold on to their language and culture. I don't know. It's for me, it's complicated, and yes, they have a definite xenophobia problem, and they're also
there's a big issue with immigration in France right now as well. Anyway,
but I don't know enough about it to get into it. Anyway, thank you for listening to us rant against the tech industry for 30 minutes.
And we'll do it again.
We will do it again. Please look out for our Blu-ray commentaries that we mentioned. You can email us at bloodhausepod@gmail.com. You can follow us at Instagram for now, but maybe not soon. For all the aforementioned reasons. Drusilla, where are you for now?
For now, I'm on Instagram at sisterhide, but forever I am on my website, sisterhidedesign.com, and on Letterboxd at sisterhide or Drusilla Adeline. You can find me on there. What about you, Josh? How can people cyberstalk you?
I'm at Joshua Conkel on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Next week, we're watching a movie that everybody loves, but I have miraculously never seen for some reason. Yeah. It's literally a movie that people name as a favorite all the time, and people are always shocked that I haven't seen it, and they should be because it's a crime. What is the movie?
I'm certain you've seen at least one version of the
Yes.
story, but you have
Oh,
not
yes.
seen this feature film version of it.
Yeah.
We will be going back in time and back to jolly old England for a very ooky spooky gothic classic in gorgeous CinemaScope widescreen and lush inky black and white. From Jack Clayton, we will be watching Deborah Carr in the ghost story classic, The Innocents.
Ooh, can't wait. Bye.
Bye-bye.